video, we're going to look at the area of triangles. We want to know the different parts of a triangle and then also how we can find the area of a triangle. So first, let's look at the parts of a triangle. So a triangle is a little more complicated than a shape like a rectangle because it can look a lot of different ways. So we know that we want to label a base and a height of each triangle. Now the base is a little bit more clear, but the height can get a little bit tricky. So in order to find the height of each triangle, you're looking for with the 90-degree angle. The height will always form a 90-degree angle with the base. So in the very left, in this right triangle over here, I can see that this is my height because there is a 90-degree angle right there. Now, if I look at this blue triangle on the top left, it's very easy to think that this right here, if this side right here is labeled, it's easy to make a mistake and to select that that is the height. But that's just one of the dimensions of the perimeter. So the height actually is going to be in the inside, and it's going to make that 90-degree angle. So we would label the height here. Same thing for this green triangle. There's our height because of that 90-degree angle. And then on the bottom right, you'll see that it's a little bit tricky here. And this is where the height is actually on the exterior of the triangle. And so the height actually is right here our height will be labeled there. So just be careful when it gives you dimensions on all the different sides of the triangle to actually find the correct height of the triangle. So how do we find the area of triangles? We use the formula area equals 1/2 base times height. And that is because this works with a rectangle or a parallelogram. Make sure that's a correct rectangle. There we go. We know that a rectangle has a base and a height. Now, when we cut it in half, from corner to corner, we can see that it forms two triangles. So if we're talking about area, that area is going to be half of the rectangle. So that's where we get the 1/2. So let's go ahead and solve some problems. Okay, right now we have, it says to find the area of the triangle below, gives us 2 dimensions and the height is clearly labeled. So we're going to start by writing down our formula, 1/2 base times height. Then I'm going to substitute my values that it gives us. Shows us that the base is 14 and the height is 8.5. And I'm going to just go ahead and make that a decimal to make it a little bit easier on myself. And then I like to multiply the base and the height together and then multiply by 1/2, or you can divide by 2 because those are the same thing. And so when I do that, I'm going to get 14 times 8.5, which will give me 119. And then I'm going to multiply by 1/2, and it'll tell me that gives me an area of 59.5 meters. And those are square meters because we're talking about area. There's my label. Okay, now this one is a little bit different. It's that triangle where the height is not as clear. It says the height of the triangle is 6 8/10 feet. So it tells us that information. Determine the area of the triangle below. So you want to look really carefully. It's telling us the height, so we can go ahead and sketch that in if we want. And we could label that as 6 8/10 feet. And then I can see my base over here is going to be 12.5 because there's that 90-degree angle that they make. So from here, I'm going to write my formula. My base is 12.5. My height is 6 8/10. I'm going to do 12.5 times 6 8/10, and that's going to give me 85. I'm going to find half of that. So my area is going to be equal to 42.5 feet squared. The area of the triangle below is 12.5 square feet. What is the height of the triangle? Okay, so let's be careful. This gave us a little bit different information. It actually told us the area is 12.5 square feet. And then it wants to know what the height is. So I'm going to go ahead and label H because that's what we're looking for. I'm going to start with my formula. And now I'm going to substitute the values. This time I'm just substituting a few different things. So here I'm going to substitute 12.5. And again, you can make that a decimal or you can leave it as a fraction, whichever is easier for you. And then I know my base is 5 and it wants to know my height. So here we need to isolate or get H by itself. In order to do that, I need to do this math of 1/2 times 5. So I'm going to do 1/2 of 5 or 1/2 times 5. That's 2.5 H, and that will be equal to 12.5. Now from here, I just have a very simple one-step equation. Remember, 2.5 times H. In order to solve an equation, we are going to undo or do the inverse. So we're going to undo multiplication with division. And so we're going to divide 12.5 by 2.5. When I do that, I get that H is equal to 5 feet. And this, because it's asking for our height, it's just 5 feet, not feet squared or anything like that, because it's asking for one dimension. Okay, this one is a word problem, so we're probably going to have to draw a picture. It says a decorative bunting is made to celebrate a birthday. The bunting consists of 9 identical triangles attached with a ribbon. If each triangle has a 6-inch base and a height of 9 inches, how many square inches of fabric is used to make the bunting? Okay, so here's my triangle. And it tells me it has a 6-inch base and a 9 is our height, 9 inches. It also tells me I'm going to actually use 9 triangles. So I like to write that down so I don't forget at the end. From here, it wants to know, let's see, what else does it tell me? So it tells me 9 triangles. It wants to know how many square inches of fabric will be used. Okay, so square inches lets me know it's looking for area. There's my formula. I'm going to go ahead and find the area of one triangle since I know that much. When I multiply 6 times 9, I'm going to get 54. When I multiply that by 1/2 or divide it by 2, I'm going to get 27 inches squared. Now that represents one triangle, so I can do 27 times 9 to represent all 9 triangles, which gives me 243 inches squared. And remember, we're talking about area, so it's inches squared. Okay, last one. A home improvement store lists that the triangular paver will cover 192 square inches. If the height of the paver measures 12, what is the base? Okay, so this is really similar to what we've done, but we just hasn't given us a picture. So I always like to draw my picture, even if it's not drawn to scale or accurate, it gives me an idea of what's happening. So it tells me the height is 12 and it wants to know the base, okay? And it tells me what the area is. So here I am with my formula. It tells me the area is 192. And then I can reference my picture to remember we're looking for the base, but it gives me a height of 12. Okay, we're going to have to get this right side of our equation a little bit more simplified. So we want to take care of the 1/2 and the 12. And remember, because it's multiplication, we can multiply in any order. So I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 12, or find 1/2 of 12, which is going to be 6. And then I still have b, which I don't know. And I know all of that is equal to 192. So 6 times b, now I can undo that right here. And I will get that 32 is equal to b, and that would be 32 inches. So I know that the height of the paver is 12 and the base is 32 inches. Okay, great job. We talked about the parts of the triangle, and we also used the area formula to find the area of triangles. Awesome job. Thanks for solving alongside.